Hey guys, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So today's video is going to be on how I created this blown out colourful look. So if you want to see how I created it, just keep on watching. So I'm just prepping Jen's skin with the Embryolisse face cream, and I've mixed in a little bit of the dewdrops from Marc Jacobs in the shade Dew You just to add a little bit of glow to the skin. So now I'm just going in with the eye base, and the base I use is the Barry M concealer in the shade Cookie, and basically I just carve the brow and then I pat this all over the lid with the Leighvi soft concealer brush, and that's the number 144. So now I'm starting with the eyeshadow, and I'm going in with the shade Wasted from the BPerfect and Stacey Msroe palette. And what I'm doing here is I'm starting on the outer corner with a really small blending brush and I'm patting it up the way. And then I'm taking a clean blending brush and I'm just blending out the edges to make sure that it's really seamless. So I've went ahead and I've done the other eye off camera just because there was too much detail and my head needed to be kind of like over her face the whole time, so that explains why one side's done. But all I'm doing now is I'm going in with a MAC 217 brush and I'm taking a neon pink shade, so I'm taking the neon pink shade from the same palette called Funky, and I'm blending over the edges of the purple just to start creating that transition into the orange and the yellow. Now I'm taking the orange shade from the palette called Lit, and I'm now blending over the edges of the pink with another MAC 217 and just getting that blend really seamless. And now I'm going in with the yellow shade on top of the edges of the orange to create that transition even more now, and I'm using another clean brush to do this. The yellow shade I'm using is the shade Keen from the same palette. I'm now taking the lilac shade from the Morphe 35B palette just to create more of a transition of the purple colour onto the lid. So I'm now taking a base. I'm using the white concealer from Makeup Revolution on a big fluffy brush, and I'm just patting this all over where I want the lighter shade on the lid. So I'm just kind of taking it from the inner corner and blending it out, as you can see. The reason I'm doing this is just to create a more of a sticky base for the white to stick onto, so it's a wee bit more opaque and noticeable. So now all I'm doing is I'm taking a white eyeshadow and I'm patting that on top of the base. So the white eyeshadow I am using is Illamasqua 6, and now I'm taking a glitter glue, so I'm using Dazzle Lock here just to create a more sticky surface for the sparkle to be patted on top of. So now we're moving on to the base, and I am using the Kevyn Auccion Sensual Skin Enhancer mixed in with a bit of the Too Faced Born This Way foundation just to make it a little bit easier to work with, and I'm using this as a concealer underneath the eyes. So what I do is I use the same brush that I put the eye base on with just to mark out where I want the concealer to be, and then I blend it out after. So I'm just going ahead and I'm sticking a really big fluffy pair of lashes on just to go along with the look. So for foundation, I'm just going in with the Estee Lauder Double Wear, and basically I take the same brush again and I just kind of put this all over the face, and then I take my beauty blender and blend it out for a really seamless finish. So I'm just going in with my Laura Mercier translucent powder underneath the eyes, and I'm just baking the face with that. And then I go in with a big fluffy brush and the Charlotte's Tilbury airbrush powder, and I just set the rest of the face with that. So while that's baking, I'm going to go ahead and do the blue underneath the eyes. So I'm using the shade Sky from the same palette, and I'm just blending that across the lash line at the bottom. Once I've done that, I'm just going to sweep away any of the bake that's underneath the eye and the excess shadow that's fallen down onto it. I'm now going to go in with a tiny blending brush and just blend along the edges of that shadow. Now I'm contouring with the Kat Von D Shade and Light palette, and I'm just blending this along the cheekbones and the jawline. Once I've done that, I'm going to go in with the bronzer, and I use the MAC Mineralized Skin Finish in the shade Dark Deepest, and then I pop a little bit of a highlight bronzer on top, which is from the brand Makeup Revolution. Then go ahead with the same translucent powder, and I just bake underneath everything we've just done to make a nice clean sharp finish. I'm now adding a little bit of a darker blue shade underneath the eyes, so this is from the same palette and it's called Recharge, just to add a little bit more depth, and I'm adding mascara on the bottom lashes. I'm now sweeping away that bake, and I am going to then add some blusher to the apples of the cheeks just to warm up the face a little bit more. Now for the best part, I am mixing two highlighters together, so I'm using the Makeup Forever Pro Fusion Highlight in Golden, and then I'm using Jeffree Star's King Tut as well. Now I'm just adding some fake freckles before I go onto the lips. And for the lips, I just stuck to a kind of neutral light nude just to make sure that nothing's too in your face, because you want to focus more on the eyes. Now I'm just going to finish the lips off with the Jouer Skinny Dip Lip Gloss just for an extra bit of sheen. So guys, this is the finished look. I really hope you enjoyed this video, because I really enjoyed creating this look for you. If you have any questions, just leave them in the comments below, and thanks again for watching.